drive to push his team to the top for the most coveted prize in men's collegiate gymnastics, the NCAA championship. For the gymnasts, it's their moment of truth, a time to shine in the national spotlight. For the coaches, the preparation is over. It's time to do battle. We welcome you inside the Liquoris Center on the campus of Temple University here in Philadelphia for the 2003 NCAA Men's Gymnastics Championships. Hi, everybody. Chris Marlowe along with Olympic gold medalist Bart Connor. The event format for this year's championship: 6 rotations, 6 gymnasts per team per event. The top 4 scores count. Now, we should tell you that 6 teams qualified for today's final, and there they are. This is how they'll start in rotation 1. Oklahoma, by virtue of its #1 seed, chooses to start on floor. Now, speaking of the Sooners, let's meet them.
I'm Mark Williams. I'm the head coach at the University of Oklahoma for the past 4 years. This team may be better than last year's team in terms of their talent. It took us a little longer to get back on track after having won last year. Some of the newer guys had positions that they had to take a more active role in order for us to do well. But the latter half of the season has been exceptional. We've broken the NCAA scoring record a couple of times and did very well in the conference meets. So, you know, we look very good right now.
My name is Daniel Fernie. I'm a senior at the University of Oklahoma. To walk out here with a second national championship would be an awesome way to finish my collegiate career. I'm hoping that our team just goes out there and has a great performance, and if we go out there and we hit like we want to, I'll be happy regardless of the outcome.
And now here is Daniel Fernie, the senior from New Braunfels, Texas, the Nissen Emery Award winner, meaning he is the top gymnast, at least voted the top gymnast in the country, and well-deserved.
And the award goes to the top student athlete, terrific student, and he becomes the 5th Oklahoma Sooner to win that award, more than any other university. Good combination tumbling for the opening tumbling run for Daniel. Boy, this guy has been beat up. You see the leg brace. He's had knee surgery. He had shoulder surgery. You can see a cut on the top of his right shoulder. He has just been a workhorse for the Oklahoma team and really a leader in terms of spirit and energy. His teammates call him the show. Second pass there, 2.5 twister to a punch front. All day long, we'll point out these combination skills that earn bonus points. Connecting one move right to the next increases the level of difficulty and bonus points that can be awarded. On the floor exercise, the judges are looking for forward tumbling, backward tumbling, even side tumbling, as he showed there. This is his last tumbling pass. All right, nice. A clean double twister.
And head coach Mark Williams applauds his star, 9.150 for Daniel Fernie. Now, here are the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Miles Avery, 6th-year head coach for the men's gymnastics team at The Ohio State University. The plan all season has been to peak at the right time. This now is the right time. Preparation all year long has gone into this weekend, our final weekend of gymnastics.
My name is Raj Bhavsar. I'm a senior at Ohio State University. I mean, I think it's going to be a battle to the end, like absolute, who's going to hit the most sets, who's going to want it the most, who's going to just grit their teeth and go, and I think it's going to be a last-minute thing this weekend.
And there's a good look at Raj Bhavsar. Speaking of a battle, he missed winning the Nissen Emery Award by 1 vote. Yes, 1 vote. And this is his best event, parallel bars.
And Ohio State is terrific on this event. This is the most difficult event to get a good score on these days, according to the rules. And look at that, under bar work. Miles Avery, the head coach, said, we're going to start on parallel bars and get it out of the way. We're good there, and we're going to show everybody how good we're there. This is only the 3rd meet this year in the all-around for Raj Bhavsar. 9.35, a terrific performance over there on parallel bars.
Now let's meet the Michigan Wolverines.
I'm Kurt Golder, head coach, University of Michigan, in my 7th season. We're not the top-ranked team, but somebody leaves the door open for us a little bit. We're going to try to slip right through it.
My name is Scott Vituri from the University of Michigan. I'm a 5th-year senior and co-captain of the team. Yeah, we're feeling it, you know. It's time to put the pedal to the metal, and, you know, the team that's most aggressive and goes out there and hits their sets and doesn't give up and fights for everything is got to take home the title.
Scott Viteri, senior, on the vault, out all last year with an assortment of injuries, medical redshirt, back this year, and he not lacking confidence, is he, Bart?
And they are a terrific team on the vault. He's going to go for a handspring double front. Oh! Now, it looked like he came on a little high, didn't have enough rotation.
8.85 for Scott Viteri.
I'm Yoshi Hayasaki. I'm the head coach at the University of Illinois. It's my 27th season. I think from the beginning of the season, we aimed for this one. Everything comes down to is this is the championship. This is the one we've been training all year for.
Hi, my name is Bob Spellick, University of Illinois. I'm a senior, and this is my 2nd year as captain. I've been here for 4 years, and we haven't been able to pull one out, and I think that this team is capable of doing it. We're here, and that means a lot to be in the national championships, and I'm really excited, and it'd be a dream come true to win the national championships.
Robert is a senior from Cheswick, Pennsylvania. He's very, very consistent this year. He doesn't go for a big score, but he's right around 9 every time.
And this is a really good base score guy. He goes up early in the lineup. He's very consistent, and that's what you want when you're putting together a team performance. You want a good solid score for your first guy and then build to the big scores later on. So it's important the first guy up is consistent. Clean release move, that's called a ginger, a back flip with a half twist. In a little close, but that's a smart move in a team competition like this. Very nice execution on those moves called endos to a full pirouette. I like this team, and head coach Yoshi Hayasaki said, we're a young team. Only 4 of the guys are going to graduate from this year, so we'll be good next year as well.
9 for Spellick.
Here's a good replay of that backflip with a half twist. Like I said, in a little bit close, but that's the smart way to do it in a team battle like this.
All right, Spellick, a good score. And now let's introduce you to the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Tom Dunn from the University of Iowa. I'm in my 23rd year with the Hawkeyes. To win the national championship, we'd have to just do everything right. I mean, everybody would have to hit, I think. Complete team effort.
My name is Cameron Schick. I'm a senior at the University of Iowa. All the time we've put in the gym, all the hours, all the sweat, all the anger, all the frustrations. It's come through in the top would be unbelievable.
Schick is 5'5" from Houston, Texas, a finalist for the Nissen Emery Award. Not his best event, but he's up first and trying to get a good score here.
He's one of 3 gymnasts that compete for the University of Iowa that came out of the Cypress Gymnastics Academy when Coach Bill Foster was coaching there. Got a direct pipeline to many of these schools in the Big Ten. There's a nice move. Uprise to Maltese, lower to cross. We're going to talk all day long about the strength moves and the importance of the strength moves on the rings. Of course, you need to show some swing elements. But these days, getting a good ring score is all about strength. Now, this is a rather standard exercise. He's not showing complicated strength-to-strength combinations, which is the best way to earn bonus points. But it should be a clean score, and that's what you need in the team competition.
So a conservative routine, 8.65 for Cameron Schick.
Watch for the control of the rings. Sure has good execution, and that always counts for a lot in my book. A little bit over-rotated on that full twisting double somersault. But notice good, clean execution and form throughout.
Okay, Penn State Nittany Lions are next. Here they are.
Randy Jepson, head coach, Penn State. This is gymnastics championships. I mean, this is what it's all about. Guys work all year long for this opportunity to be here, to step up to the plate and show the rest of the country what they're all about. And, you know, they're going to leave no stone unturned in trying to do that this weekend.
Jose Palacios, captain of the Penn State Gymnastics team, senior. We've been ready for this for the whole year. We've been waiting for it. We're excited. Bring it up. Penn State is ready.
Kevin Donahue is up next. Donahue is a terrific performer, a senior from Saddle River, New Jersey.
He had a really disappointing Big Ten championships this year. Didn't do well, and even in the preliminaries here, only hit a couple of good events. Pommel horse was one and vault was the other, so we'll see how he does here. They've had some good performers. Zach Roeder got a 9.475.
Oh man,
no.
he's in trouble.
Well, he kept it moving, so it wasn't a major break. Oh, and that is a major break when you completely stop. As I mentioned, they'd had some good scores over here. Kevin Tan had a 9.0.
That's going to hurt, however. A 7.95 for one of the star performers for Penn State, Kevin Donahue. Now the standings after the first rotation: Illinois 37.050, followed by Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Oklahoma, and Iowa. The rivalry between these two teams, Daniel Fernie and Raj Babsar, Oklahoma and Ohio State. We'll detail it next.
This is going to be the rival match, and so, you know, I brought it up myself, and I love that feeling, that extra boost that those guys get, knowing, hey, you don't want them to beat you again, do you? And I'm sure they're saying the same thing. You don't want them to beat you again, do you? So it's good for the motivation. It's good for the sport to have rivalries.
Two teams, one title apiece for Ohio State and Oklahoma. Each an NCAA champion, each a runner-up. In a sport where tenths of a point decide victory, who will grab this year's title? Oklahoma, Ohio State, or will history repeat with Penn State the victor?
There's a long tradition of success there in history, and all the way from our fans to alums and our administration, we expect a successful program. And you know, I know that the guys really feel that as well. And it's nice for them, you know, they go into our dual meets and see 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people at our dual meets. So to have that kind of support behind you, sure, there's an expectation there to certainly give your best.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Chris Marlowe. Yes, on paper, on video, it figures to be a three-team race for the national championship. Let's start with the number one team in America, Oklahoma. The Sooners are undefeated. They've won 23 straight matches, and they have the best gymnast in the country in Daniel Fernie. Now, on the other side is Ohio State. The Buckeyes won it all 2 years ago. They are peaking at just the right time, and they have a superstar in Raj Babsar. If you're picking the upset special, how about Penn State? Nittany Lions a couple of weeks ago won the Big Ten championships for the first time in their history. They have a great all-around performer in Jose Palacios. They are ready to rock and roll. Now, for more on the intricacies of today's championship meet, let's go over to my partner and pal, Bart Connor.
Well, most gymnastics fans know, of course, that gymnasts use chalk to keep their hands dry when they're working on the apparatus. Well, I'll bet not everybody knows that the gymnasts also use honey on the parallel bars to make them sticky so they can do some of those complicated skills. Now, gymnastics is a very complicated and difficult sport to judge, but all the rules are right here in the famous Code of Points. Now, every skill in gymnastics is given a certain point value, and that's how the judges add up the scores. Now, in each specific event, the gymnasts have to show skills from 5 different element groups in order to perhaps score a perfect 10. Here's what they have to show on the parallel bars, for example. One skill like this, which is a glide on the side on a single rail, can fulfill one of those requirements. They also need to show a skill where they're swinging below the bars, a skill where they're swinging in upper arm support, and that hurts, and a skill where they're swinging above the bars like this. Then, of course, they need to finish with a big dismount. Hopefully, they'll do one more difficult than that. But for a guy who's 45, it wasn't too bad.
Not bad at all, Bart, but I can't give you a 10 for that routine because the degree of difficulty on the Marlowe scale, just a 1.2. But how about some bonus points for explaining the scoring?
All right, I'll do my best.
All
You
right.
see, difficulty is worth 2.8. Those special requirements add up to 1.0. 1.2 is saved for bonus. That's extra difficult skills or difficult combinations. And then 5 points add up to the exercise presentation or execution, and that totals your perfect 10.
All right, the assignments on the apparatus, rotation 2. Ohio State starts on high bar. Now, if you were with us last year, remember Ohio State struggled on high bar, and this year in rotation 2, the Buckeyes have done the same. Cody Trobaugh, watch right here as he hits a major biff.
Whoa.
Then Raj Bhavsar, moments later, he misses his release move. And to make things worse, Jamie Houle, the ultimate indignity, he hits hard, right on his chin, splits it, and draws blood. Meanwhile, the Oklahoma Sooners working well on the pommel horse. Now, this is Josh Gore. Sooners off to a great start, and this kid can really work.
He has great technique, form, and execution. Oh, and he's showing good fight there. He's a little off on that very difficult combination. But the Sooners were less than great on floor exercise. They had some weak performances for them. So they need some strong routines here. And they're going to get a good score for Josh Gore.
A 9.275 for the pumped up Gore. No relation. Now, Josh Landis is up. And he is the best of the nation, at least according to the rankings.
He's already earned All-America honors on the pommel horse a couple of times. He really has it all here. Look at this sequence. Those are called Russian Moors. Good body position, good rhythm throughout. Good scores for the Sooners here. Even Daniel Fernie, 9.425. The Sooners coming back strong on pommel horse.
And head coach Mark Williams says, yes, 9.65 for Josh Landis. So the Sooners piling up points on the horse, and now we go to Michael Rivas of Iowa on vault. He is solid, putting up some numbers this year.
He's just a freshman. Does 4 events for Iowa typically. This is a Yurchenko with a double twist and great technique.
That vault gets him a 9.3. So Illinois now. And here is Justin Spring. And if you want to see a guy who's aptly named, watch this. Talk about coils.
Look at that combination there. Very interesting gymnast with some of the most imaginative routines I've seen in a long time. Just a freshman out of Burke, Virginia. He's really one of the most versatile gymnasts, and he has very exciting potential. Wow, look at that. You know, you don't often see originality anymore.
Yep.
It seems like most gymnasts opt to do the same skills to get the same bonus points. And look at this, a double at the end. This is a star in the making. Watch for Justin Spring.
9.475 for the Springy Spring. And now Penn State sends up Kevin Tan, Big Ten rings champion. He was the runner-up a year ago, but he is much improved. They say a lot stronger this year, Bart.
Hard to believe considering what he can already do. But he'll really demonstrate terrific strength combinations like that back roll around to the iron cross. It's called an Azarian. And push up to a Maltese and then bounce to a regular cross. Always showing complete control. Talk about those bonus combinations. Anytime you do a strength-to-strength combination on the rings like the ones he has shown, you can earn a connection bonus in addition to the already difficult value of those skills as individual skills.
Yep. So a terrific routine for Kevin Tan, a 9-7. So that will end rotation 2. Let's update the standings for you. The Oklahoma Sooners have vaulted to the top, followed by Penn State, Illinois, Ohio State dropping to 5th. All right, we're coming back. We'll continue with the NCAA Men's Gymnastics Championships right after this. Stay with us.
And our job is to make sure that A, it doesn't happen to us, and B, it does happen for us. So we're going to do everything we can to see if we can get it done.
April Madness happened for the Buckeyes. 2001 in Columbus, Oklahoma and Ohio State neck and neck during the final rotation. But the Buckeyes capture the win. Strong vaults by Jamie Natalie. The Buckeyes win the title.
2 years ago, we took away the title. We took it home, and it was the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. And I'm sure me and the rest of my teammates would be absolutely satisfied, and it would just feel perfect to go home with this championship.
Rotation 3, Ohio State will be on floor. Illinois, horse. Oklahoma rings. Penn State vault. Iowa on the parallel bars, and Michigan goes to high bar. Now, the Oklahoma athletic director, interestingly, Joe Castiglione, is here, Bart Connor.
And it's a big weekend because it's spring football back in Norman, and Bob Stoops and his troops are entertaining 45,000 fans at Oklahoma Stadium, and yet the athletic director came here to cheer on the gymnastics program. That's impressive.
Yoshi Hayasaki, longtime coach at Illinois. And interestingly, his son on the team this year. He'll start things off for the Illini. There's a good look at Casey Hayasaki. Basically a specialist. He's a junior from Champaign. The only Champaign, Illinois native on the squad.
Fascinating story. He was a good gymnast when he was a young man, and he got hurt.
Yep.
Kind of got out of the sport. Then he went into wrestling, went into high school golf, and finally decided to come back to gymnastics and specialize just in the pommel horse. And he walked onto the team, and now here he is an important contributor to this pommel horse lineup for Illinois. And it was on pommel horse in the qualifying round yesterday that Illinois just rocked their routines, which allowed them to squeak into the finals, just beating out California. Okay.
There he goes.
He's stuck with it.
The junior. And an 8.9 for Casey Hayasaki. Well done. Now Ben Newman, sophomore from Denver, Colorado, one of the best in the nation. Won the Big Ten pommel horse competition.
Chris, I really like his mechanics. Notice the power and the speed of the circling movements that he does. Very aggressive. High level of difficulty in this exercise. Notice the travels down the length of the horse. Moves like that are a requirement. Moves like this are a requirement. Oh, no! I am shocked because when he's swinging, you get the impression he'll never make a mistake. He's so strong, and he has such good mechanics.
He has been so solid this year, but an error there is going to cost him. A 9-1. He was headed for a big routine. So Newman, a 9-1. How about a routine from Iowa? Matt Metzger is up on parallel bars. Metzger, a junior from Cincinnati, Ohio. Got a couple of parallel bars titles to his credit this season.
Iowa needs a good performance here. Cameron Schick had only an 8.6. Michael Rivas, 8.6.
Oh, he's in trouble. Hanging in.
Good improvisation. He was off on a couple of those skills, yet he didn't break form. That'll hurt his execution score.
And an 8.7 for Matt Metzger.
He's laughing. He knows that he had to fight just to hang in there, so he's happy with the 8.7 considering.
Let's go to the high bar now. Michigan's Chris Zimmerman, a senior from Winnetka, Illinois. Michigan ranked 5th in the country. 3 NCAA titles to their credit, their last in 1999. You might remember that Justin Toman-led team when he was a freshman.
Chris Zimmerman has had lots of injuries and in close on that release move, extremely close to the bar today. You may remember from last year's NCAA championships, he had a severely sprained ankle, got a shot of Novocaine and went up and did his routine, and even managed to do a pretty difficult dismount.
Yeah, very clutch and very tough a year ago.
He has seen limited action because of those injuries. But he fought through that routine.
An 8.8 for Zimmerman. Penn State is on vault. Ludwig Kern ready to go. Sophomore from Annapolis, Maryland. One of the taller gymnasts in the competition.
Ludwig, they call him Buck. He is a terrific vaulter. Normally does 3 events for Penn State. This is his best. Good mechanics, just a little sloppy on that landing, double twisting Sukahara.
A 9.35. Well done, Ludwig Kern. To the rings now, and Oklahoma. Brett Covey set to go. You can see the scores. OU has been kicking a little behind and taking some names.
Boy, and this is the event that they know that they can really build a strong lead on. Mark Williams said, even against the best teams here, they can gain as much as a point with this lineup. You see 3 scores in the 9-4 range. And Brett Covey is just world class on this event. Member of the Canadian national team, actually went to the World Championships in Hungary last fall. Great positions in these strength moves. A little short in that handstand. That's kind of uncharacteristic for him.
A little bit of a hop on the landing. Maybe not his best, but still very, very good at 9.5. Now, Jamie Henderson, for the Sooners, went a little bit earlier. He scored a 9.475, but watch the perspective that you get on this routine. A little bit, well, this is an innovative camera angle, especially for rings, Bart.
Yeah, this gives you an idea, a little of an idea of what it looks like from the gymnast perspective. We'll also get an idea of just how difficult it is to keep those rings steady. Great combination of strength moves, good body position. Maltese to a bounce to a cross. Sometimes when you get twisting a little bit like that, the guys call it the washing machine. A little bit swing in the rings. They are tough to control, but he has world-class technique in those swinging elements, those giant swings, which are a requirement, and a full twisting double back. Wow.
That's a landing from any angle. So he got a 9.475, Jamie Henderson. All right, we finished 3 rotations. And the standings look like this. Oklahoma continues to lead Penn State. Ohio State has jumped up back into 3rd. Illinois, Michigan, and Iowa rounding it out. Let's go back 3 years to the championship at the University of Iowa. Penn State's Jose Palacios with a strong performance on rings and pommel horse. And Palacio leading Penn State to the title. A Big Ten top 3 finish. And the championship going to the Nittany Lions.
We came in as the sixth-place team, qualifying in, and people kind of counted us out. But all the way through the competition, we were within 2 or 3 tenths of the leaders, and we knew we could win it. And when it was all said and done, we did.
The current standings, Penn State, very, very good on vault, but continuing to trail Oklahoma, who was sensational on rings. Ohio State back in the mix after a strong floor performance. Illinois. Here is Kevin Donahue from Penn State, senior, and he'll work on the parallel bars.
Now, we saw him earlier on the pommel horse. He struggled a little bit. Here's a guy who was ranked 6th in the nation in the all-around, but Randy Jepson, the head coach, said we're going to keep him out of the all-around because we can get a better team score if we mix up the lineup a little bit. So in many ways, he's reducing his individual opportunities and trying to get the best score he can for the team. This is the kind of guy who's a very clean gymnast, and it was uncharacteristic when we saw him make a mistake on pommel horse. He's improved a lot there. But you can see he has great technique and form.
An 8.825 for Donahue. Let's move over to the high bar and pick up Iowa's Cameron Schick. Had a good vault a little while ago, 9.275. Senior from Houston.
Co-captain of the team, along with Eric Block. He's got a good release move in here. Nice, powerful swing. Look at the speed. And a beautiful double over the bar. Caught it just right. Of course, everybody loves the high-flying release moves. They can be dangerous, as we have seen. But he caught that one beautifully. Okay, clean execution throughout. Not a lot of difficulty outside of that big release move.
8.75 for Schick.
His mechanics on this double back over the bar are impeccable. It's called a Kovacs. It was invented by a Hungarian gymnast, and boy, he caught it just right. It's another good example of his technique and really good clean execution. That's a laid out double with a full twist in the second flip.
And now let's go to the vault. Here is Jock Stevens, a junior from Moore, Oklahoma, who once trained at the Bart Conner Gymnastics Academy. Bart, you know him well.
And boy,
tremendous
this
talent.
can really pop a vault. Last year he got a 9.7 in the prelims at the championships. Let's see if he can do it.
Whoa!
Knock it! He completely drilled that handspring double front. 9.7. Look at the speed and the intensity as he launches this thing in the air off that new vaulting table. Oh, you can hardly do it better than that.
So an outstanding vault for Stevens. Now Adam Pummer, freshman from Allentown, Pennsylvania, on rings for Illinois.
Illinois was excited to make it into the team finals. They
Just
rallied
squeezed in there.
They sure did, and they were spectacular on the pommel horse in their final rotation in the qualifying round. On the rings, of course, you're watching for good strength moves, good control of the rings. The name of the event is the still rings. You're supposed to do your best to keep them still when you're in those hold positions. Anytime you pick up a little swing, there is a potential for deduction. All right, not a bad exercise for Pummer.
Score for Pummer, 8.55. The big news, though, Jock Stevens nails it. 9.7. He's got the Sooners rolling.
When Jeff and Sharon's baby arrived,
Innovations in the world of NCAA men's gymnastics. For more, let's go to Bart Conner.
25 years ago, gymnastic equipment manufacturers introduced the coil spring floor exercise mat. And this really revolutionized this piece of equipment. The gymnast can get higher and do more complicated skills. Now, one of the most dramatic changes in gymnastics in 25 years is the introduction of this new piece of apparatus called the vaulting table. It replaces the traditional vaulting horse, which was nothing more than a pommel horse, with the pommels taken off of it. Now, this was designed with safety in mind. It's so much larger. It's about 3 times wider than a traditional vaulting horse. And the idea is that the gymnasts have a little bit of a ramp effect, which allows them to go higher and farther in the post flight. Now, this is the second year they'll be using it here at the NCAA championships. Every vault is judged on a basic start value, which means the difficulty rating of that vault. The judges are looking for good, clean form in the pre-flight onto the vaulting table, a good solid push, good height and distance off of the vaulting table, and of course, a good, clean, solid landing. And at the championships, it's all about the landings.
Good report from Bart Connor. And a man who can stick landings, Daniel Fernie, ready for his vault attempt. Fernie, of course, from Oklahoma, if you just joined us, the top gymnast in the country. Here he goes.
Got a big vault here. Not a stuck landing, but clean execution on that. Yurchenko with a double twist has a start value, as I mentioned, of a 9.7. So a 9.35 is a strong score for that.
Over to the pommel horse, Ohio State's senior star, Ryan Schwarzkopf.
Boy, he can really swing the pommel horse.
10-0 start value. Capable of putting up the big score, but he's had some misses this year, too.
That's the nature of this pommel horse. You can be swinging along beautifully, and the next thing you know, you're standing next to it going, hey, what just happened? But boy, I sure like his mechanics. Look at that position with his body out in the prone position. It's called Russian Moors. Good, clean execution. They need a good score here because Jamie Houle had only a 7.85, and he was their 4th gymnast to go. So 9.45 for Schwarzkopf was a key comeback for them.
All right, let's jump back to the parallel bars. Penn State's Kevin Tan, 3rd in the nation on this event. You see his average just to the right, a little over a 9.2, which is a good score in gymnastics this year.
It sure is, and we saw him on the rings, 9.7. Do a spectacular exercise there. He really is a clean gymnast. Oh!
Uh-oh, he's in trouble.
That was a move called a Healy twirl, and he completely botched it. I'm amazed he kept the rhythm going. Oh, out of gas at the end. That's unfortunate. 8.45 will hurt them over there. They had a decent performance going for the team, but they needed the big score that they normally get from Kevin Tan.
Pressure is on now. Raj Babsar, pommel horse. And Ohio State desperately needs a big hit from Raj.
I mentioned earlier that this is only his 3rd all-around competition of the year. Last summer he had surgery on his shoulder to repair what they call the labrum. So he was really out of competition a long time. But you gotta love his aggressive, intense style. Hey, nice difficulty in this routine, and he's improved here. A little smoother and a little better rhythm than I've seen in the past. And boy, do they need a routine. And they got it.
Raj Babsar comes through with a 9.45 for head coach Miles Avery. So at the end of 4 complete rotations, Oklahoma has assumed command. Look at that, the Sooners trouncing the competition. Penn State, Ohio State, Illinois, Iowa, and Michigan rounding it out. 2 rotations away from a victory are the Sooners.
We're thrilled to be back here in contention for another national championship, and we're hoping to go out there, have a steady meet, compete like we have all year, and walk away with another championship.
It's everything you train for, and being my last year, I want to go out with a bang. You know, I want to show everybody that Ohio State has come to play, and that this team means business.
That's what you train for all year.
You just say NCAA championship to yourself, and you get this feeling of excitement.
The ultimate dream is to win a national championship for any team.
Taking a look at that trophy, and I just get a chill down my spine.
It's our coach's motto to focus on the end.
You know, ever since you start training, you know, in the summer or back in the fall when you get back to school, you know, you always got your eyes set on the April time.
This is the moment to be in, but ideally in gymnastics you want to make it like an everyday thing so that you don't put yourself in a unique situation that you're not used to. So for us, we're going out there, we treat it like every other meet we had this year. We've had success that way, so that's our game plan.
This is what we were trying to do a little differently this year, was train for national championships, not worry as much as what was going on during the season. It was to peak at the end.
I've been doing this since I was 4 years old, 4 hours a day in the gym for 18 years.
I'm going to miss it, that's for sure. You know, I take a look back at my career and who I was as a freshman and who I am now and what I've done, and it's kind of sad to know that, you know, you're going to be competing for Ohio State the last time.
Well, being my last meet, you know, I'm hoping to go out there and have a great finish. It's been a great 4 years at the University of Oklahoma, and there's a great team that I'm ending with, so we're hoping to go out there, have a steady performance, and walk away with a national championship.
I think that's kind of just fuel for the fire that makes you want to go out there, do your best, give it your all for this one last time, and see if you can bring home another title. You know, that's what really drives me right now is, all right, this is my last chance to give something back to Ohio State.
This time of year, it's always down to the wire for all the gymnasts.
Now this is the end. We're prepared.
Along with Olympic gold medalist Bart Connor, I'm Chris Marlowe. The NCAA Men's Gymnastics Championships continuing. The Oklahoma Sooners, on the strength of a tremendous vaulting rotation, lead by almost 2.5 points. The Sooners in control at the moment. The apparatus, the teams in rotation 5. You see Ohio State has moved to the rings, Oklahoma P-bars, and Penn State on the high bar. We'll start on the pommel horse, Michigan's Jamie Hertza. Ready to rock. Hertza, the defending national champion in this event.
Yesterday he struggled a little bit in the preliminary competition and had to break form. He does an interesting composition of this routine. He starts with that single leg work and then does the rest of the exercise, the swinging elements. Normally you swing a little, then do the scissor break, and then finish with swinging elements. He got the scissor break out of the way right at the beginning. Oh, nice combination on one pommel. Nicely done. He struggled a little at the end of it. Look at this. These are called Russian boars. And boy, did he put the arm on that.
Score for Jamie Hertz at 9.35. Outstanding. Let's go to the rings. Ohio State. And here is a talented sophomore, Cody Trobaugh. He's from Denton, Texas. And Ohio State to climb back in the race needs to have some solid ring performances.
They're doing well here so far. Jamie Shepard had a 9.3. Randy Monahan, 9.45. Trobaugh has the potential for a terrific score here. Oh, I like that combination. From a Maltese cross, he laid back and bounced back up to an L cross. That move is a variation of the move called the Pineda, invented by Tony Pineda from the Mexican national team at UCLA. Boy, talk about demonstrating control of the rings. Great technique. Just a little step on that landing, but wow.
9.45.
Here's a good look at pretty much what the gymnast sees when they're looking straight down off the rings. Double back and a full twist in the second of the two flips.
So Ohio State stringing together some good performances. Let's go to the parallel bars. Oklahoma's Heath Mueller. He was 4th in the all-around at the MPSF, a much improved gymnast.
He really is having a terrific year, currently ranked 10th in the all-around nationally. Having a good meet today as well. Solid. He's got a good combination here. Watch that. That's called a peach to a giant double back. Kept the momentum going beautifully. Those are some of the underbar swings that we mentioned are required. That move right there is one of the over the bar swings. Also a requirement. Oh, that's going to get a good score.
9.3. Ouch!
Could break somebody's hand, giving some high fives. These guys are focused. This is really intense focus to drill that landing like a dart going into a dartboard.
So Oklahoma continues to build on the parallel bars. How about Penn State? They will send up Luis Vargas, a 5'5" freshman from Rio Piedras, Puerto Rico, former member of the Puerto Rican national team, very experienced.
Oh, and he's a terrific addition to this Penn State team. Super all-around performer. They've already had an 8.85 from Palacios. Ludwig Kern had an 8.9. They could use a bigger score here. Boy, look at his form and technique. Just a freshman, and he has enormous potential to score well for this team.
Luis Vargas, a 9.4. So Randy Jepson's star gets a big hit. We're going to continue from the Liacouras Center. Do some more swinging right after. The Sooners are the national champions.
It was amazing to be at home and to be able to win a national championship on your home floor. We were, we had a unique season that year, and I think this year's pretty much just like it. So we're hoping to repeat it.
So now, parallel bars. We continue in rotation 5. David Henderson is ready to go. Sophomore from Crosby, Texas. One of the brothers. He's the older by a year.
They both trained down at the Houston Gymnastics Academy with Kevin Majika, who really is a technician. And both of these gymnasts are a great addition to the Oklahoma team because look at the clean form, execution. A little shaky there. No, he's off to the side. Hey, good cover up.
Was that intentional?
The glide on the side.
Nicely done.
Stoop through to the double back. All right, that wasn't what he intended to do, but he managed to.
And I think the judges saw him and gave him an 8.8. All right, here is Justin Spring up for Illinois. We'll take in his vault.
Boy, this kid is fun to watch. Just a little short of that double twister, but you can see he has good basic mechanics and power.
A 9.2 for the talented Justin Spring. So now back to the high bar. Penn State sends up Kevin Donahue, one of the best in the nation on this event. Oklahoma 1, Penn State 2, along with Ohio State. Those three teams, as we imagined, battling it out. Really up to Penn State and Ohio State to hit their routines now, Bart, to put a little pressure on Oklahoma, maybe going into that final rotation.
Keep in mind there are 6 gymnasts from each team on each event. The best 4 out of 6 scores count towards that team total. Well, that was a stoop, jam to a full turn out the backside. A little improvisation there. But he's really good at these endos and full pirouettes. Nice high Ginger backflip with a half twist regrasp. Vargas has already put a 9.4 down for them. That will do well. Yes, double twisting double at the end.
9.45 for Kevin Donahue. Okay, back to the rings. The senior from Salt Lake City, Utah, Matthew Smith. Folks, this guy's a ring specialist. So they're expecting some big numbers from him.
He's a 50-year senior.
Smarter than the average college student because he's been there 5 years.
Well, I took 8 years, so what does that make me?
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah,
brilliant.
Right. Sure. Oh, look at that. I'm sorry, that's just not possible. That move is called an Azarian, named after the famous former Soviet gymnast where you roll around to the cross. Wow, this guy is just so strong. Look at the position in those crosses. Complete control of the rings throughout. Now, Ohio State has a very senior team here when you consider Raj Babzar, Dick Huntworth.
Evans.
Evans. They're going to lose a lot of their top scoring athletes for next year. Oklahoma also will lose about 2/3 of their best scorers.
So Matt Smith, 9.325. So Ohio State hitting on rings. Now, freshman Adam Pummer is next. Pummer, an outstanding all-around performer. 9.525 at the Big Tens. Let's see if he can hit one here.
He tried to finesse that landing a little out of line, which will be a deduction, and a little shorter rotation on that vault, double twisting Sukahara.
Pummer, 9.050. Through 5 rotations, here's how it shakes out. Oklahoma still on top. Ohio State, Penn State, Illinois, Michigan, and Iowa. Of course, the rivalry is intense between Oklahoma and Ohio State. How intense is it? Listen.
We look at this as maybe the rubber match between the last 2 years. They had won in 2001, we won in 2002, and we were both hosting those championships. This year it's in a neutral site, so you know, maybe we can see who's the real champion.
We got a little rivalry going on, you know, 2 high-caliber gymnastics teams, you know, in the nation. You know, we got, you know, both are great teams, both have great players on it, and I think it's just going to come down to who wants it more on Saturday, and who wants it more, and who's going to go get it.
The same 3. Oklahoma, Ohio State, and Penn State as we head into the 6th and final rotation. Penn State will be on floor, Ohio State on vault, Oklahoma on high bar. We're going to start with the floor exercise. Penn State sends up Luis Vargas. Following our coverage, a freshman, a talented one from Puerto Rico.
Absolutely, and he has all the qualities that a good gymnast needs. He's very quick off the floor, explosive, he's strong, and he has flexibility. Watch this combination, 1.5, lay out front to a front 1.5, a little bobble there. But you see a lot of those triple bounding combinations. The 3rd skill in a row gets value raised because it's tough to do 3 of those bounding moves in a row. Of course, the judges look for tumbling, forward tumbling, backward tumbling. Routine takes about 1:10.
How winded are you by the end of the routine?
Oh, it's like a sprint. You really feel exhausted. I remember that experience standing in this last corner before the last tumbling run where your arms feel like they're made out of concrete. You can hardly hold them over your head. Here he goes, double back, double twist.
Nice.
Good. Good, clean dismount. Not the most difficulty there, but he got his bonus points from his first 2 combination tumbling runs.
So Vargas gets a 9.050. Now, we mentioned that Oklahoma is going to be on high bar. In the first night of competition, Daniel Fernie, he had some trouble with his routine, Bart.
He went for a difficult move, and he caught the bar with his chest. You can see it here. It's a backstalder hop full twist, and he was lucky he didn't get a mouthful of that high bar.
Now, the reason we show you that, quite honestly, Bart, is because Ohio State needs some help from Oklahoma. As you call it, they need Oklahoma to biff a couple of times and put up a couple of poor performances. That was last night, and here is Landis.
Landis has a good exercise, and he's had a very good competition today so far. Solid on the floor, superb on the pommel horse where he had a 9.65. He's going to set up here for a full twist out of the stalder, and here will come his release move. It's called a Ginger backflip with a half twist. Oh! You know, he was in actually too close to the bar, and it looked like he couldn't quite adjust and make the regrasp.
He was there.
His hands were on the bar, but the dowels, you have these little dowel rods at the end of your grips, and it didn't look like they got hooked over the top of the bar. So you lose a half a point when you fall. You continue your exercise from that point. This will surely be a low score. Even there, he cast it and went over in that handstand. I think he's a little flustered by this. Okay, now he nailed it that time. You must show a release move in your high bar exercise, so he had to go back up and do it again. And let me tell you, after you already bip on it once, it's tough to go again.
Quinn Rowell put up a 9.1, but Landis is going to get a low score with that fall at 8.85. So maybe the door opened just slightly for Ohio State. And this is the strongest man in Philadelphia, Kerry Adderley, sophomore from Orlando, Florida. Look at the build on this fella.
Yeah, he is exciting to watch. Very nice handspring front laid out with a 1.5 twist. He never really came to a solid landing, however.
So Adderley a 9.050. Back to the high bar. The two top teams battling. Josh Gore set to work, a sophomore from Pflugerville, Texas. Remember, 4 out of the 6 scores count. So they'd like to throw out Landis' score if they could.
One thing about the Oklahoma team that I'm really impressed with this year is their clean execution. And Gore is among the best at that. He really has nice form, body line, and rhythm. Even though he's doing very difficult skills, he really has a good, clean flow. Very nice release. That's a reverse hex back over the bar. This kid has terrific potential.
Has a 9.0 or higher in every meet this season. So he's been very consistent. Let's see what he does here.
Okay, played it safe with a double laid out somersault. But Oklahoma needs a couple of hit routines here.
A 9.2. So Josh Gore says, yeah, there's one. Let's go over to the vault. Ohio State. Cody Trobaugh, who has been impressive.
Remember, every vault has a start value, a rating of the vault. That one there, a very nice, powerful Sukahara double twist, has a 9.7 maximum start value. A little bit over-rotated.
Ohio State has a couple of 9s to go with whatever Trobaugh got, and it was a pretty good score. Now Heath Mueller.
Every team hates that moment when you round the corner and you have to head to high bar because you have to do the big hairy release moves. We saw that Ohio State had a disastrous performance on the high bar. Heath Mueller does a big release move, and yesterday in the preliminary round he was very close to the bar, much like Daniel Fernie. Let's see, here's the double over. Oh, man!
A major biff.
Whoa! I'd be surprised if that didn't knock the wind out of him. This is a double over the bar. Now, in the qualifying round, he was in too close. It looked like he just pitched it way too far back and over-rotated, landed pretty hard.
Explain the procedure for finishing the routine, Bart.
Well, you're basically supposed to pick up your exercise and go from that point on, but he has not yet completed the release move. He's going to go again.
Oh, man. Now, does he still have to continue to pick up from that point, or should he just continue and try to finish?
Well, I think, let's see what's happening there. He's getting the look from Mark Williams, who says, hey, let's just get off the bar. And
get off the stage?
Yeah, get out of here. So he's had a good competition today, solid pommel horse.
So concern now for Oklahoma.
Yes, that's so far 2 very shaky routines. Oh, and he's in close.
Yeah. Oh,
man.
I'll tell you what, Heath Mueller, the junior from Yukon, Oklahoma, will remember that exercise. An 8.0. There's a ray of hope for the Ohio State Buckeyes as things start to get dicey for the Oklahoma Sooners.
Now have this team rock all 6 events and go out with a bang and, be on top.
One of the great rivalries in men's collegiate gymnastics, and things starting to get interesting now. Oklahoma and Ohio State running 1-2, but we do know Ohio State making up some ground here in the 6th rotation. The Buckeyes have been very, very good on vault so far. We are ready for Randy Monahan, but look at the numbers. 3 9s already for the Buckeyes. And here's Monahan, who's outstanding.
Nice
Yeah,
landing. double twisting Yurchenko, and he drills it.
Monahan a 9.25. Let's go to the parallel bars now. And Adam Pummer.
He's the freshman out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, formerly coached by Joe Stallone. 2002 junior national champion in the all-around. And he has made a huge impact on this Illinois team. I'm really impressed. They haven't been in the top 6 team finals in 5 years. Last time was back in 1988.
9th a year ago. Had a bunch of injuries. Came back strong this year.
This guy is so strong. It's like he can just about muscle anything out.
Pummer a 9. Now back to the high bar. You see the 2 falls, Landis and Mueller. You count 4 of the 6. And the pressure squarely on the shoulders of Shannon Carrion.
It sure is. Oklahoma desperately needs a strong performance here if they hope to put this away. Coming into the high bar with nearly a 2.5-point lead. I mean, they're a lock, right? Well, not unless they...
Oh, he's in trouble.
Oh, my goodness. Coming out of that pirouette, he was completely crooked. I'm amazed he hung on, and a nice double over the bar.
That was clutch right there to hang on.
Critical finish for Carrion on high bar.
I'll tell you what, they may have to use that score, so it was lucky he did stay on. 8.85. So Oklahoma struggling definitely on high bar, and now it may be up to Raj Bhavsar, the final vaulter. Right behind him is Miles Avery. We know Raj needs to hit a big one here to put pressure on the Sooners even more.
Solid
Pretty
ball.
good.
Clean execution. Good solid landing.
What does he need, though? How much will he get? A 9.3 for Raj. A 9.3. So now for the Buckeyes, they have to hope that Daniel Fernie falls or slips. Fernie ready for his high bar routine. Remember, in the prelims, he struggled, bounced his chest.
He'll be doing that same combination today. First of all, he's got to get through 3 release moves before he even gets to that point.
Fernie to clinch it for the Sooners.
Here's the release sequence. There's 1. Right there, in a little close. Solid. Boy, that second release was a little too close. Here's that Stalder hop full. That's what he missed in the qualifying rounds.
He's right there.
You hear Coach Mark Williams saying, "You got it. This is it. It's just the dismount."
Oh, and the Sooner Nation is about to erupt. That should do it. A 9.4 for Daniel Fernie, and Mark Williams has his 2nd national championship. Yes, 2 in a row. And Daniel Fernie, who better than this St. Emery Award winner, clinches it for the Sooners. An exciting day for Oklahoma here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Oh, yeah.
Coca-Cola brings you Championship Expressions. Coca-Cola brings you Championship Expressions. Coca-Cola, real.
Steele down the middle, 101. Points. Ohio State finishes 2nd and Penn State 3rd. Our Chevy winning moment, of course, it involves the Sooners, who finished the season undefeated. happy to have joining me now the victorious Oklahoma coach, Mark Williams. Coach, first of all, congratulations on this year. You won the title a year ago. Emotionally, can you compare this year with last year?
I think I'm going to enjoy this one more than I did last year. These guys are just a special group. It's been a tremendous year. Undefeated, perfect season, another national championship back-to-back. I'm just really, really excited. These guys have been great all year.
You lose a great senior class headed by Daniel Fernie. Can you talk about the seniors just for a moment?
Yeah, Daniel Fernie paced us all 4 years of his career. I'm so happy for him with the Nissen Award winner, the all-around championship. We're going to miss him a lot next year. Josh Landis, Shannon Carrion, Brett Covey, all those guys were fantastic. And Quinn, we'll count you as a senior, too.
Well, Daniel, I talked to you last year about leading this team. You led it again this year, but you kind of hit for the hat trick. I mean, we're talking about the team championship, the all-around championship, and, of course, the Nissen Emery Award. Too much to expect?
Well, I mean, those are all definitely goals that we had set for the season. It's been a great weekend so far, and looking forward to event finals, and, you know, really happy with what the team did today.
Let's talk about this as an emotional moment for you as a senior. You've been the leader of this team. You sacrificed your body for this sport and for this team, and now right now you're standing on top of the world.
It's all been worth it. All those morning practices, all those surgeries, all those hours in the gym. And we came together as a team this year, went undefeated. It's been really great, and this is the best way to end it off.
Congratulations to you and to the Sooners.
All right, what an accomplishment. The Sooners repeat for the first time since a youngster named Bart Connor was the head man back in 1977-78. The Sooners are national champs. And the final performance of Daniel Fernie's career, his final routine. This was the routine that officially clinched it for the Sooners and the individual all-around title. Bart Connor.
Tell you, this is such an impressive young man. Good technique, good style, but he's the kind of gymnast that any coach would be proud to have on their team because he's aggressive, he fights for every tenth of a point, but he's a good team leader. He led by example all 4 years at Oklahoma. And as I said, he suffered through a lot of injuries, but he cared a lot about this team, and he was the glue that held this whole group together.
There it was, and the final standings in the all-around. Daniel Fernie wins at 56-1, Raj Bhavsar second, Scott Viteri third. So the Oklahoma Sooners win their 5th national title. Mark Williams wins his 2nd title in his first 4 years. And Bart Connor, how would you compare this Oklahoma team to some of the great teams of the past?
Well, I think this is certainly one of the most spirited teams I've ever seen. And when you got a young group of guys like that are pulling for each other, this was an inspiring evening.
So the Sooners are whooping it up. A reminder coming up next, Around the Horn. For Bart Connor, I'm Chris Marlowe. So long from Philly. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.